Hey, what's up everybody? What's up everybody? Welcome to my live review of Chrono Cross, the remaster. And this is a remaster we definitely need to talk about. We need to talk about the Chrono Cross remaster. Yeah. So I've never done a review live, but I've done several discussion videos live already, so this should be easy. Anyway, so the game came out a couple of days ago. Well, yesterday actually. It came out yesterday and I streamed it yesterday for like almost 3 hours. And after that I played a little bit more by myself, and today I played a little bit more. In total I'm like 6 hours same, but I think, this is a game that I've beaten to death. I don't need to beat it again to make a full review of it. 5-6 hours are more than enough for me to give you my judgment on my favorite game of all time. And why am I doing this live? First of all, because it's my favorite game, right? I feel like, it needed to be live. My Chrono Cross Remaster review live. I hyped this remaster so much since it was announced a couple of months ago that it needed to be live, right? But the real reason is because, it was released last night. I streamed it last night. I just didn't have enough time to, shoot a video, plan rehearse the script or whatever. Well, not the script, what I wanted to say. And then put the music in there, edit the video, capture footage, and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna use my footage from yesterday's stream. As you can see right now, it's right here. So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about this game. First and foremost, I want to thank you guys for joining on the chat. And well, let's begin this review. So the Chrono Cross Remaster. Did it live? What the question is? Did it live up to the hype? Did it disappoint? Well, in my opinion, and trust me, I know I'm a fanboy. I know I love this game to death, and I know I recommended this to death as well. Favorite game ever, right? But believe it or not, you're gonna find this hard to believe, but I am the type of person who can, get out of his fanboy personality, his fanboy thoughts. And touch the ground, feet on earth, down to earth, and really make some solid, both subjective and objective criticism of something, even if that's something it's its favorite game of all time. So this game has not disappointed me almost at all. It does have some problems. No game is perfect, and there's some problems that I'd like to address. I'd like to mention, a couple of complaints that I have with this particular remaster. But overall, the game did not disappoint. The remaster did not disappoint me. I love the heck out of it, and it did, for me personally, it did live up to the hype on the PlayStation 4. As I am aware, I've seen a lot of people complaining about the Steam release. I know nothing about the Steam release. This video is about the PS4 version. If you play the Switch version or the Steam version and it sucks, then okay, say so in the comments, say so in the chat right now, but please also say why it sucks on the Switch or PC. On the PS4, and in my personal opinion, not biased, it doesn't suck. It lived up to the hype. It did not disappoint. It is amazing, and it is also in my opinion, it is the best version to play nowadays of this amazing game. Now, well, I guess we should start with the positive, right? I guess we should start with the positive things about this game, because there's a lot of positive things to say. I mean, a quick positive review is that what you already know. That this is a game that, the story is phenomenal. Some of the characters are phenomenal. The other characters are kind of useless and are just kind of there. You already know that, but if you follow the different types of routes and search for those scenes, you do get your character development for a lot of the characters in this game. Most of the characters get a lot of development here, not as much as in regular JRPGs where there's like 6 to 8 characters and they all get a lot of development. But this is a game where the main characters at least get a lot of development. But anyway, we already know this is not a review of the original game. The story is badass, the soundtrack is universally acclaimed, music is amazing. People are saying that the music was remastered. I don't think so. Let me put a little bit of the gameplay right here. It does have some new music, some new songs in there on the menu. Right now you're seeing the menu screen. This is the menu screen, and in here, in this part right here, you can see the title of the song that's playing. Every time you load the file, every time you load this game, it plays a different song. And there's only a bunch of songs. You know, this is not a remastered soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack was not remastered. It just, you know, sounds better than in the original. But the compositions are left intact. Nothing changed. Same songs. They sound, you know, equal but better. You know, I don't know. I don't know much about audio, but you know, nothing changed. This is not the soundtrack of the game. The in-game soundtrack was not remastered, or more like was not rearranged. However, there are some songs right here, and I want to talk about them because the moment you load the game, that's the first thing you meet. You see these art drawn by, I don't know who drew this art, probably the artist himself, you know. And then you listen to this music. That's the first thing you hear. You know, these new songs, this new music, and you're like, what is this? No, this wasn't in the original. And to be honest, I'll be completely honest, well, brutally honest as usual. These new songs are good. These new songs are good. I like them. Some of them are kind of like, no, it doesn't quite fit it doesn't feel Chrono Cross-ish, but others are okay. My problem is that the soundtrack of this game is a masterpiece, and you're listening to the soundtrack right now, to the original soundtrack. It's a masterpiece. It's universally acclaimed. You know, even people who don't like Chrono Cross admit that the soundtrack is badass. Like, it's amazing. It's one of the best video game soundtracks of all time. You know, universally acclaimed, critically acclaimed soundtrack, right? So, why did we need new music? Was it necessary? Like, what's the point? I mean, okay, good. You know, you want to add something extra to your remaster, Square Enix, I guess, thanks. But it wasn't necessary, in my opinion. These new songs, this new music is like, okay, like it doesn't live up. I mean, the soundtrack, the original soundtrack completely overshadows this new music. And it's just there in the menus. You know, it doesn't play during the game. None of these songs play during the game, so it's like, thanks, I guess. But anyway, you know, that's all I have to say about this new music. It's good, but it's just, the soundtrack completely overshadows it. That's all I want to say. Anyway, I want to let you guys know that if you haven't bought this game, or if you already bought it and you've barely played it, don't worry, the story and characters and the battle system and everything else was left intact. Nothing changed. There's nothing like new as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if they developed new endings, or I don't think so, you know. Out of all the time that I spent with this game until today, until right now, you know, everything seems exactly the same as in the original. In terms of story, characters, you know, pacing, you know, all that jazz. Battle system. The battle system has two new features that I want to talk about they're really, really cool. They weren't in the original, obviously, but it has these two new features. Okay, outside the battle, not in the battle. One of them is the no encounters feature, and let me tell you, that's a blessing. That's a freaking blessing. Sure, Chrono Cross does not have. Let me put some gameplay in here. So we can see the battle. If you see, I don't know if you can see right there in the bottom left corner of the screen, you know, there's this icon in there. That icon means that you can remove the encounter rate. But this game doesn't have random encounters. You can see the enemies. But sometimes in this game, these enemies are hard to dodge, some of them. Others are just walking around in areas that don't concern you. Others are around chests, and you just need to like wait for them to move away, so you can I don't know, get the chest, you know. But the truth is that some enemies are hard to judge. Some enemies, you know. This is a live review. I need to find the exact moment for a battle. But anyway, here's a battle. Let's just let this battle play. All right. So you can see the battle system. I'll be talking about the battle system. So, you can dodge these enemies, and if you come in contact with them, the battle doesn't start as long as you have that feature on. And you can, you know, use that activate that feature by just clicking on the joystick, on the left joystick. You click, and you just click again if you don't want it anymore. Now, a lot of people say that it is kind of irrelevant to grind in this game. I don't think so. You don't gain experience in Chrono Cross. You don't level up. You level up only during the boss battles, and only some of them, the majority of them. There are some boss battles that you fight them and you don't level up. You just gain random stats. Remember the Saga games? Has anybody played the Saga games? Romancing Saga, Saga Frontier. You don't level up, right? Or the Alliance Alive. It's the same, you gain random stats, but the majority of those stat increases are HP. Like 9 out of 10 times, you just increase your HP. Eventually, out of pure luck, because it's random, you get this strength up, or defense, or resistance up, or whatever. But 9 out of 10 times, your characters only increase HP on random battles. And eventually, you get capped in this game. This is not a game where it's not a good idea to go around and kill every single monster on screen. I know a lot of people love to do that. This is not a game where you do that. This is not... Well, you can do that, but it's dumb because halfway through the game you're going to be capped and every battle is not going to give you any stat increase or any HP increases. And you're probably wondering, do I really need these HP increases? Yes, you do. This is a hard game. Chrono Cross is a hard game. I want to talk about a little bit about the difficulty in the remaster. But Chrono Cross is a hard game. It's not one of the hardest on the PS1, but it is a hard game. Alright, so you do kind of need those HP increases in here. But so this no encounters feature, no battles feature is amazing. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a blessing because sometimes the enemies are so hard to dodge and you don't need to fight them at that moment. You don't want to fight them at that moment. So what do? Well, pretty easy. You just move around and do whatever you want. Even if you touch the enemies, nothing happens. And that's awesome. That's awesome, man. So, if the fact that you can just, click it away, remove it, with one button, that's awesome too. Because if you do want to get into a battle, you just click again and you get into the battle and that's it. It's automatic. That's awesome, Congratulations, Square Enix, that's awesome. Anyway, so the second feature that I want to talk about is on the battle system is that there's this boost feature. You can activate that feature with the right joystick. You click on it, and it shows this boost feature. This boost feature, doesn't make the battles any easier, but it gives you a starting advantage. If you click on the boost feature, what happens is that you get all your levels, your element levels up to the max. If you are on level 3 element, you're gonna start with level 3 because usually when you start any battle whatsoever, you start at level 0 and you gotta do regular attacks, right? To keep increasing those levels, because you got your elements that are level 1 elements, level 2 elements, level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. Alright, and obviously the higher the element, the more powerful the element is, even if it's a heal or a buff or a debuff or a magic spell, whatever. Alright, so this boost feature, if your characters are available to use up to level 4 elements, this boost feature starts up right up, up until the 4th element. And it also increases your accuracy. Well, for those regular melee attacks, it also increases the accuracy up to level 99 to 99%. So it's gonna be almost impossible for you to miss. That's the only thing the boost feature does. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I only use it for one battle just to test it out and see what was it about. But as soon as it was, the battle was over, I never used it again. So if you know something that I don't know, if this boost feature does something else, something extra, apart from what I just said, let me know. I don't think it does, but that's it. That's okay. This remaster does not... The original game doesn't have a hard or easy mode or nightmare mode. There's no such thing. And that's fine for me because, I couldn't care less about the easy mode or the hard mode in this game. I beaten this game, 10 times, probably more on... Well, I've beaten the game like 3 or 4 times on the normal difficulty and then New Game Plus. New Game Plus, you're overpowered. levels carry over, weapons carry over, everything carries over, so you're overpowered. New Game Plus is for you to do all the different routes and get all the different endings, you know, as quickly as possible. You can do speed runs in this game on New Game Plus, and I just beat on New Game Plus the game like 2 months ago live. You can find a complete playthrough here on YouTube. It's public. It's not unlisted like most of my live streams after they're over. So yeah. Anyway, so but I guess a lot of people were expecting an easy mode, or a hard mode, or a nightmare mode. Well, if you were that kind of person and you were expecting that, well, sucks for you. But guess what, you know, because most people want the hard mode. They don't want the easy mode. They don't care about the easy mode. Some people do. Well, you don't have an easy mode, but you have the boost feature that I mentioned. And it, like I said, it doesn't make the battles easier, but at least it gives you an initial advantage. Right? That's your easy mode, your easy feature. But it doesn't make the battles any easier, as far as I'm concerned. So, the game is hard. Why would you want to make it harder? You know, some of the boss battles are brutal. And I want to talk about the difficulty because when I streamed the game last night, I felt that the game was, during the first several boss battles and regular battles, during the first 2 hours of the game, you know, most of the battles for me personally were a walk in the park. But maybe so I thought, at that moment, maybe they fiddle a little bit with the difficulty, maybe they rebalance, maybe this remaster is easier. But then I got into the Marcy fight. To avoid spoilers, I'm not going to say who Marcy is. It's a boss. I got to this boss fight, and this boss fight, you know, destroyed one of my characters. This boss killed Kid, one of my party members. And I was like, whoa! Okay, so no, difficulty still there, because the first time I played Chrono Cross, she also killed one of my characters. And I was like, man, this game is hard. So yeah, that's when the game starts getting hard. You know, the first 2 hours are okay, you know. Some boss battles may be hard for the newcomer, for someone who's this is the first time they're playing Chrono Cross, so some of the first boss battles might be hard, you know, but they weren't for me. But because I have experience, I beat this game to death, I know what to do, I know how to handle myself, so it's okay, right? But don't worry, what I'm trying to say is that the difficulty was not, it didn't change. It didn't change at all. Let's skip a little bit here. Well, actually, that's about it. You know, that's all I have to say about the battle system, you know. Some people were asking me to explain the battle system. This is a game where I've been this game like 10 times already, probably more, and I still don't fully 100% understand the battle system. I understand, like, I don't know, maybe 85% of it, and I've gotten around the game several times with that 85% understood. You know, but it's not too hard to understand. And like I said during the stream, there's a tutorial that Radius gives you at the very beginning when you're in the village, when you are able to move around your home village. You know, you go to this area where Radius, an old man, bald, white shirt, long ass blue skirt, you know, he's there and he gives you a tutorial, and it's a very useful tutorial. And then other battles, like the one I just showed with Salt and Pepper, they also give you like small tips. They make them funny, you know, but they also give you like these tips that, you know, if you use the opposite element against the enemy, you know, you do more damage. Or you can also alter their elements. You can use these certain elements to change their attribute and so on. Or the field effect. You see the field effect right now, right? Well, the battle is over. But anyway, there's this thing up there, right, on the upper left corner, called the field effect. If you use 3 yellow elements in a row, then the 4th time you use a yellow element, you know, it's gonna do massive damage. So yeah, you can take advantage of that. It's not too hard to understand. This battle system is a little bit complicated, but it's not that complicated. It's not too hard to get the grasp of it, and that's about it. But anyway, thank you, Scott Pilgrim. Oh, the Scott Pilgrim. Thanks a bunch, man. So, one thing I want to say now is that the biggest feature in this remaster is absolutely obviously the graphics. I mean, it looks freaking beautiful. it just looks beautiful. The in-game graphics, you know, are badass. They look beautiful. They surpassed my expectations. Remember my character tier list on Chrono Cross, you know, that I did some like a month ago, 2 months ago? I showed in that video gameplay footage from a YouTuber called Cooch that he remastered the emulator remastered the game, and then it looked wow. It looked like wow. It looks completely remastered, 100%. And I said during that video, well, we'll see if the real remaster, if the official remaster will look better. In my opinion, it looks better. It did not disappoint. As you can see right here, the game gives you the option at the beginning of choosing between full screen or normal screen. Normal screen in this case is 4:3. You get these huge black bars on the side and then the game in the middle, right? You probably know that you've seen footage of that already in several of my videos. You know, I usually in my top 10s on my videos, you know, I do both. If I'm talking about PS1 games, some games I put them on full screen, and some others I put them on 4:3. That's the resolution. And then there's the zoomed feature. And the zoomed feature, it probably zooms. It occupies the whole screen, but I'm afraid it's gonna cut something. I didn't try it. I only tried the 4:3 screen and the full screen. The footage you're watching right now is the full screen. Let me make it full so you can, you know, see everything. All right, so there you can see everything, but it does have some black bars, so it's not 100% full screen now, is it? It does have some black bars, but I'm guessing if you pick the zoomed, you know, feature, and you gotta do this from the main menu, not from the menu of the game, from the main menu where you can select between Radical Dreamers and Chrono Cross. We'll get to Radical Dreamers in a bit. I want to talk about that too. But I'm guessing you get the like 100% full screen, but it might look, I don't know, maybe not good. I haven't tried it out, and I just don't want to try it. But anyway, guys, as you can see right here at this very moment, it looks beautiful. If this isn't beautiful to you, I get it. We're going to talk about the frame rate in a bit, but it looks great. I mean, just look at these graphics. Look at the backgrounds. Look at the animations. Look at the character models. Look at them. I mean, I'm satisfied. It did not disappoint. Looks beautiful for me, in my opinion. Alright? So, now I guess we should talk about the frame rate problems. I'm gonna leave the full screen right now so you can see them. Can you see them? When Nikki jumped? You didn't you? Why? Because they're barely visible. You know, I'm running around right now. You know, their characters are running. If you pay attention, if you're watching this on your TV, if you're watching this on your phone, it may not be that noticeable. You do need to watch this on your screen, on a big screen, to be able to notice, you know, how the frame rate struggles just a little bit, but it's barely noticeable. I'm saying this because I notice a lot of complaints, you know, for the Steam version and the Switch version, right? So, exactly, someone's saying here in the chat, this is an emulation, right? It's a remaster, but it's being emulated, and the frames per second match the original. That's why it struggles a little bit. And that's about it. So, I respect when people, you know, criticize the frame rate issues, but like I said before, I don't know about the Switch or the Steam version. I don't know about that. My thoughts and opinion are on the PS4 version that I played, remember that? But in this PS4 version, they're barely noticeable. They don't get in the way. They don't bother me. There's way worse games out there, you know, with far worse frame rate issues, like East 9 on the Switch, like Edge of Eternity on any console whatsoever, you know. They have frame rate issues and they're noticeable. You know, you notice and it bugs you and it's horrible, right? But in this game, with all due respect, in this PS4 version, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, to be honest. Like I said, you know, I respect your opinion if you're gonna bitch about the frame rate issues in the PS4 version, but to me, it's bullshit. That's just my opinion, you know. The frame rate issues in this version are barely noticeable. That's just me, right? I have two complaints about it. Well, one complaint. Because the frame rate issues are not really a complaint. I'm defending them. It shouldn't be like that, you know? And it's a little bit lazy. I admit, I'll give you that, you know? Square Enix should have worked a little bit more on these frame rate issues. They should have done a better job, especially on the Switch and Steam version. The Steam version got a lot of shit. I don't know about it. I haven't seen footage of it, you know, but if a lot of people are saying that the Steam version, the frame rate issues are intolerable, then okay. It shouldn't be that way. So that's a negative, Square Enix, you know. It shouldn't be that way. You are the richest company, the richest video game company when it comes to RPGs, the richest RPG company in the world. You guys are billionaires, and you couldn't fix frame rate issues on your Steam or Switch versions? That's pathetic. That's pathetic. But on the PS4 version, like I said, they're barely noticeable. I don't mind them. If you do, wow. Well, okay. Well, I think you're exaggerating, but whatever, you know, I'll respect that, you know. I'll respect that. Now let's get to my complaint. Because, you know, everything else is fine. Everything. Graphics, battle system, this new boost feature. Oh, we gotta talk a little bit. Let me mention a little bit about the forward feature. They also included a slow motion feature. I have no idea why. Like, seriously? I don't remember the exact moment where I used it. Well, let's I don't know, move forward here. The minigame where you feed the dragons. Anyway, so two things that I want to mention is that you don't need the forward feature when it comes to battle loading. When the battles load, oh my god, it blew me away. Why? Because if you've played the original game, whenever you get into a battle, let me try to get into a battle here. Oh, too soon. There. Check it out. That was what, like 5 seconds? 5 seconds and there, you can attack, you can move around. You know, you couldn't do that in the original version. In the original version, you get into a battle and it's like 10 or sometimes 15 seconds for everything to load. The camera shows, you know, it's like the explosion, the fade out explosion, the fade in explosion, the white screen, and then shows the enemies, and then shows your characters, and then you can finally attack. As you saw, it takes like 5 seconds. You get into a battle, and the enemies and your characters. It doesn't even show your characters. As soon as the camera shows your characters, you can already attack. You saw that. And that's amazing. That's bravo, Square Enix. That was a great job, in my opinion. That's, you know, you nailed it. You know, and if you use the forward feature that you can use with one button, it's even faster, right? And everything can be faster, you know. It's a little hard to control your characters with a fast forward button because, you know, they move around like this, and sometimes you're entering this area and they're like, ah, damn! And you gotta stop using it so they can enter the area. And I don't recommend using the fast forward feature, but you do, sometimes when you travel between areas from point A to point B in the overworld, or when you gotta backtrack a little bit, you know, you do backtrack in this game a lot, but don't worry, this is a game where the dungeons and areas are kind of short. It's it's not like you gotta backtrack from point A and 3 kilometers away to point B and with random encounters in between. No, you know, you backtrack from like one corner to the other, one block to the other in this game, right? And well, I understand it can be a little bit annoying, so you use the forward feature and it's a relief. This forward feature was in the original version too, but after you beat the game for the first time. And now, you know, they gave it to us, you know, from the beginning of the game, which is awesome. But anyway, so that's a cool feature. And there's also a slow motion feature, you know, I have no clue why. I guess they were just trying to be funny, you know, to move your characters like this. You know, like why? Okay, thanks for that, Square Enix. But anyway, now, Thanks for joining, everybody. And Katana, I see you there. Thanks. See you guys there. The usual guys who were yesterday. Terry, Hiro. Thanks for joining. So I want to talk about my complaint. My one and only big complaint. Okay? Because all the other things that I've criticized, they're small. They don't bug me. This game is still a masterpiece. But there's one thing that is shame on you, Square Enix. That was lazy as fuck. You're not gonna believe this. Those of you who were yesterday, in the stream, you noticed this, and it was bullshit. That's bullshit. That's inexcusable bullshit. The in-game cutscenes, also known as cinematics, were not remastered. Why? You start this game and you play the opening. The opening plays out and it looks beautiful. The opening was remastered. You can see that. You can clearly see that, and it looks great. You're not gonna watch that in my stream because I thought it was gonna be with copyright, but I think you can watch it on YouTube. Watch the opening in the remaster, and it looks beautiful. It was remastered, but the rest of the cutscenes in the game were not remastered. Let me try to find some footage here. Right here, no. It's probably gonna be no. Let me go back to the beginning. When you promised okay. I just want you to watch a cutscene, to see how, because they weren't remastered. Like, why? Why is that? Were they too lazy, or they just didn't have enough time to They remastered the opening, but not the cutscenes. The cinema, they look pixelated, and they looked the same way they looked, on the original version. But in the original version, it's fine. But in this remaster, where everything looks beautiful, from this, you're watching the graphics right here, right now, and all of a sudden, you get those cutscenes that look pixelated, like in 360p or something. It's just, it's inexcusable. Let me try to find it. No. Oh yeah, you need to go wait at Opasa Beach. Well, we'll get them eventually here. Okay, it's around the corner. I just want you guys to watch that, That is just inexcusable, to be honest. Like, why, Square Enix? Why couldn't you remaster? I was disappointed. It's the only thing that really disappointed me of the game. That I was really looking forward to watching all those cool scenes when, whenever you change from one world to the other with the astral amulet, I want to see that scene remastered, in 1080p or 720p at least. But no, that doesn't happen. And that's, there we go. Check it out. It looks great because my footage is on 1080p, but look, you can tell, it's not remastered. It is the same as in the original PlayStation 1 release. I think an emulator, any emulator has got it beat. So I hope you can tell the difference. Maybe on your phone you won't be able to tell the difference, but if you're watching this video on a big screen, or a bigger screen on your computer, maybe just go full screen and you'll be able to watch this. This is, it still looks beautiful to me, but this is not remastered. It's not. Yeah, check it out. That's it. That's the scene. Alright? So, come on, Square Enix. What happened there? What the hell happened there? That's my one and only complaint with the game. The frame rate issues, I don't give a rat's ass. At least not on this PS4 version. What else is there? That the game doesn't have a nightmare mode, hard mode for you hardcore gamers that want to play everything on hard nowadays for no reason. I don't care about that either. What else is there to complain about? Everything looks great. I heard the Steam version has some glitches, some screen tearing, but not this version as far as I'm concerned. I did encounter a couple of glitches, but they were fast, and you can watch one of those glitches in my stream. There was for a fraction of a second at the bottom of the screen was like, something flashed, Like the screen, there was some screen tearing for like a fraction of a second, and that's it. I mean, come on, I don't give a shit. I don't care about that, I'm not gonna complain about that. So my one and only complaint is that, why weren't these cutscenes remastered? That's a bit of a letdown, if you're gonna remaster something, if you're gonna call something a remaster, you should remaster the whole thing. Because there's been remasters in the past where they didn't remaster certain things. Take Phantom Brave and Soul Nomad, released by NIS America on the NIS Classics, alright? Some parts of the game look remastered, but others do not. And I'm talking about the in-game graphics. The in-game graphics in Chrono Cross look beautiful. You're seeing this right now, and they look remastered. Everything is completely remastered, just not the cutscenes. But in some games, it's far worse. That's my point. So what I'm trying to say is that my one and only complaint about this remaster is not such a big deal for me. In other words, I give this remaster a 9 out of 10, or maybe 9.5 out of 10. I'm taking out 0.5 points just because the cutscenes weren't remastered. That's not a big deal for me, But anyway, so if you compare this remaster to other remasters, this is pretty damn decent still. This is an excellent, a great remaster. Top tier remaster. Not the best remaster ever, no, but it's a great remaster nonetheless. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Radical Dreamers. For those who don't know, when you go to the menu, let me put the menu once again. At the very beginning, you can see right here, there's the says Chrono Cross and then Radical Dreamers. What is Radical Dreamers? Radical Dreamers is a text adventure that came out in 1996 for an add-on. An add-on is like, do you remember the Sega 32X? It's a little bit like that. It was called the Satellaview. That's a strange name, Satellaview, for the Super Famicom. Only in Japan. That thing was not released in North America. So this is a thing where you can download small games or, whatever games on your Super Nintendo and play them online. Not online with other people, but download them online and play them. That was a Satellaview. Alright, and Radical Dreamers is a text adventure. I didn't play it, I don't have any footage of it, but you can look it up on the internet at any time. Or if you already bought this remaster, you can play it any time. And it's a text adventure. It's not exactly a visual novel. There's a difference. A visual novel, you usually see character portraits talking and talking and talking and talking. No, here you get like a background, static image, and text. Text, and more text. That's a text adventure game. What do you do in these text adventure games? What you do is you make a lot of choices sometimes, like in the adventure books. Have you ever read one of those books that are like, oh, you're reading, yeah? And if you want to save the princess, go to page 36. If you don't, go to the next page. So text adventures in video games are a little bit like that. You do similar things. You don't go to page 34, right? Where you're giving these options, go to the right, open the door, don't open the door and move on. It's like that. And there's a lot of decision making like that in Radical Dreamers. Now, is this game any good? It does have a battle system. The battle system is just text too, and you're given options. You attack, you defend, you dodge. But what's a little bit unfair, and you can save at any time. You can save at any given time in this game. That's great. That's phenomenal. Okay? Except during the battles. When you get into a battle, you can't save. You need to save before. So this game is very unpredictable because it has like random encounters. Right? I mean, you decide to go into the door. The options were go to the right, go to the left, go into the door. So you go into the door and then, you lock in the battle. So I strongly suggest you save as often as you can in this Radical Dreamers game. You'll need it because if you die, if you choose attack and you weren't supposed to choose attack, you can die and it's game over. Can you believe that? It's game over. And you gotta restart from your last save. And you gotta read through the whole text again. They did not add a feature to skip through the text, and this is a text adventure game. I don't know why, maybe they forgot about it. I have no idea, maybe they'll add a feature later on, but you can't skip through the text. You can't fast forward the text. That's a little bit of, that's bullshit, let's be honest. And it's a text adventure game. It needs it. It totally needed that feature. But whatever. It's not like the text appears on the screen very slowly, you know? So, one thing you need to know is that you're probably wondering, do I need to play Radical Dreamers before Chrono Cross? Well, this game came out before Chrono Cross. But what is this? What is Radical Dreamers? Radical Dreamers is like an alternate version of the main characters in Chrono Cross, which are Surge and Kid. Surge is a silent protagonist in Chrono Cross, but it's not in Radical Dreamers. He's the narrator. He tells the whole story, and he talks. I mean, he's funny. He's kind of funny. But there's a third main character called Magil, which people have often speculated that Magil is Guile from Chrono Cross, or Magus from Chrono Trigger. It's just a fan theory. Nothing's been confirmed by Masato Kato, the writer and creator of the Chrono series. Okay, but anyway. And this is this Radical Dreamers is the band of thieves, and the leader is Kid. But this is a slightly different Kid. She has the same personality as the Kid from Chrono Cross and the same British funny accent, the same gypsy pikey accent. But it is not connected to Chrono Cross, so you don't need to play one first to understand the other. Okay? What I do recommend is that you play Chrono Cross first and then Radical Dreamers. Why? Because then you'll be acquainted with the characters in Radical Dreamers and you're just gonna love it even more. If you play Radical Dreamers right now, you might find it a little bit boring. I don't know, I feel like it's better to play Chrono Cross first and then Radical Dreamers. You'll probably like Radical Dreamers way more. I'm loving it right now. Despite its unfair, battle system. But anyway, and in the entire game, almost the entire game, Radical Dreamers takes place in a mansion called the Viper Manor. It's a place you visit in Chrono Cross. Most of the game takes place there, and the plot is a little bit similar, Kid is looking for the Frozen Flame and to kill Lynx. Lynx is the main antagonist in Chrono Cross. That's all I'll say. But that's about it. So, overall, I think this is a phenomenal remaster. I think it was badass. It was amazing, that they decided to include Radical Dreamers. So you can get the full context. Maybe one day we'll get a Chrono collection with all 3 games in one. On Switch, PS4, PS5, whatever, That would be amazing, Chrono Trigger, a remaster with these types of graphics, it will look freaking beautiful as well. Maybe one day. But for now, the focus was on Chrono Cross and Radical Dreamers. And Radical Dreamers has been fan translated for a long time. It was fan translated years ago. Anybody could play it, just downloading a Super Nintendo emulator. You could do that before. But I think that it was a great feature to include this text adventure that was previously only in Japan, because they are aware. They are aware probably of people like me bitching about only in Japan. We don't like that. So they're aware of that. They're like, oh, they don't like that. So let's give them something that was previously only in Japan. And that's awesome. Bravo, Square Enix. So overall, my one and only complaint, what I said before, that the cinematics, the in-game cutscenes were not remastered. That's a shame. I really love this game and I really wanted to see those cutscenes remastered, but it's not that big of a deal for me. Alright, and do I recommend this? Yes, totally, absolutely. The PS4 version seems to be the one to go. People are complaining a lot about the Steam version. Some complaints are there for the Switch version, but you can play Chrono Cross Portable if you buy the Switch version. And one last thing I want to say is the price. The price was great. Amazing price, $20. It's still a little bit expensive for a digital-only game, there's a physical version only on the Switch, and it's not handled by Square Enix. It's an Asian version with English subtitles. You gotta buy it from PlayAsia or from scalpers on eBay already. But yeah, there's a physical version. And I hope the PS4 version gets a physical one day, and I'll definitely buy it. And yeah, the PS4 version is the one to go, guys. The PS4 version, give priority to that version, because the other versions seem to have problems. The frame rate issues are worse in those versions, but I kind of get the feeling the Switch version runs just as well. I can't talk about the Steam version. But anyway, that's it, guys. That's my review of Chrono Cross, the remaster. We definitely needed to talk about this game. It's been 45 minutes. You know, it's my favorite game of all time, so of course I had a lot to say about it. So, sorry this took so long, but I still hope you enjoyed this. So, yeah, totally recommend it. It definitely lived up to the hype. It did not disappoint one bit, except on the in-game cutscenes. But you know, like I said, it's not that big of a deal for me. Totally recommend it, guys. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends.